From $10,000 to $100,000 revenue. The exact framework today, I'm going to show you the exact framework to scale from $10,000 to $100,000 in revenue. This isn't theory. This isn't fluff. This is the same system companies use to grow 10 times faster than their competition. And by the end of this video, you'll have the complete roadmap. Most people will never see this kind of growth because they're missing these 5 key pieces. But you're about to get all of them. Listen, I've studied over 80 sources on business scaling. I've looked at the numbers. I've seen what works and what doesn't. Here's what most people get wrong. They think going from $10,000 to $100,000 means working 10 times harder. That's not how this works. The companies that actually make this jump, they work smarter, not harder. And here's the crazy part. Only 25% of companies actually grow in a way that lasts. That means 75% of businesses are stuck. They hit a wall and never break through. But the ones that do break through, they follow a framework. And that's exactly what I'm going to give you today. Now, before we dive in, let me tell you why this matters so much right now. 82% of companies are planning major changes by 2026. The economy is shifting. And if you don't have the right systems, you're going to get left behind. Small businesses are the slowest to adapt. Only 14% use modern scaling tools compared to 34% of big companies. That's a massive gap. And that gap is your opportunity. Because while everyone else is stuck in the old way of doing things, you're going to learn the new way. The way that actually works. Here's what we're going to cover. First, I'll show you the math behind revenue scaling. Then we'll go through the 5 pillars that make this whole thing work. After that, I'll give you the exact timeline to make it happen. And finally, we'll talk about the mistakes that kill most businesses before they ever get to $100,000. Let's start with the numbers. Because if you don't understand the math, nothing else matters. To hit $100,000 in revenue, you need to know your customer economics. Here's how it breaks down. If you sell something for $1,000, you need 9 customers per month. That's it. 9 customers times $1,000 equals $9,000 per month. Times 12 months equals $108,000 per year. If you sell something for $500, you need 17 customers per month. $500 times 17 equals $8,500 per month. Times 12 equals $102,000 per year. If you sell something for $100, you need 84 customers per month. That's a lot harder. Here's the first lesson. Price matters more than you think. A 1% increase in price leads to an 8.7% increase in profits. That's not my opinion. That's McKinsey data. Most people focus on getting more customers. But the real money is in charging what you're worth. Now let's talk about the framework. I call it the 5-pillar system. And every single pillar is critical. Miss one and the whole thing falls apart. Pillar 1 is revenue model foundation. This is where most people mess up. They don't understand their own business model. You need to know 3 numbers. Customer acquisition cost. That's how much you spend to get one customer. Customer lifetime value. That's how much money one customer is worth to you over time. And your profit margins. Here's the rule. Your customer lifetime value should be at least 3 times your customer acquisition cost. So if it costs you $100 to get a customer, that customer should be worth at least $300 to you. If you don't hit that ratio, you're losing money on every customer. And no amount of scaling will fix that. Now here's something interesting. Customer acquisition costs have gone up 222% since 2013. It used to cost $13 to get a customer. Now it costs $29. That means it's getting harder and more expensive to find customers. But here's the flip side. Keeping customers is 5 times cheaper than finding new ones. So the real money is in retention, not acquisition. Pillar 2 is the 3 growth accelerators. These are the things that actually move the needle. First accelerator is revenue diversification. This accounts for about 30% of your growth. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you only have one way to make money, you're fragile. Subscription models give you predictable income. Digital products scale without extra costs. Service expansion lets you sell more to the same customers. Second accelerator is customer acquisition optimization. This is 40% of your growth. Most people waste money on marketing that doesn't work. You need to find the channels that actually bring customers and double down on those. Third accelerator is operational efficiency. This is the other 30%. Automate the repetitive stuff. Document your processes. Build systems that work without you watching them all the time. Companies that do this save 26 hours per week per employee. That's like getting an extra day of work for free. Pillar 3 is revenue operations. This is where everything comes together. Companies with strong revenue operations grow 19% faster and are 15% more profitable. 75% of the highest growth companies will adopt this by 2026. Revenue operations means all your teams work together. Sales, marketing, customer service. Everyone is aligned on the same goals. You need to track the right numbers. Revenue growth rate month over month and year over year. Customer acquisition cost. Customer lifetime value. Net profit margin. Most businesses track vanity metrics. How many followers they have. How many likes they get. That stuff doesn't matter. What matters is revenue and profit. Pillar 4 is technology and automation leverage. This is where the real magic happens. Marketing automation gives you $5.44 back for every $1 you spend. 76% of companies see return on investment within a year. 12% see it within a month. Business process automation gives you 240% return on investment within months. Think about this. Automation costs about $50 per month. A minimum wage employee costs $1,200 per month. That's 24 times more expensive. Automation handles the boring stuff so humans can focus on strategy. And strategy is what separates the winners from everyone else. Pillar 5 is profit margin optimization. Revenue is vanity. Profit is vanity. You can make all the revenue in the world, but if you're not profitable, you don't have a business. You have an expensive hobby. Focus on price realization. That's what customers actually pay versus your list prices. Optimize your product mix. Sell more of the high-margin stuff. Negotiate better with suppliers. Reduce costs without hurting quality. Now let's talk about the timeline. This isn't going to happen overnight, but it also doesn't take forever. Phase 1 is foundation. This takes months 1 through 3. Calculate your current profit margins. Figure out who your best customers are. Set up basic systems to track everything. Start small. Don't bet the farm. Phase 2 is growth engine. This is months 4 through 8. Scale the stuff that works. Make decisions based on data, not feelings. Build your team or automate to handle more volume. Your goal is to reduce customer acquisition cost by 30 to 50%. Phase 3 is optimization. This is months 9 through 12. Fine-tune your profit margins. Expand into new revenue streams. Prepare for the next growth phase. You should be seeing consistent 15.8% revenue increases by now. Let me give you some benchmarks so you know what good looks like. Technology companies grow 11% to 13% per year. Healthcare and wellness grow 8% to 9%. Retail grows 4% to 5%. Construction grows about 7%. Your lifetime value to customer acquisition cost ratio should be at least 3 to 1. Your gross profit margin should be 60% or higher for services. Your net profit margin should be 10% to 15% for a healthy small business. If you're in the software business, you want 15% to 20% monthly recurring revenue growth month over month. Now let me tell you about some real examples. Because this stuff actually works. ParentPulse increased user adoption by 75% in under 4 months. Reich saw a 496% increase in their sales pipeline year over year. Social Ladder increased their dollar value in the sales pipeline by 135%. New Relic changed their pricing model and unlocked massive growth. MacPaw transitioned to a software service model and saw 200% revenue growth in the first year. Digital marketing agencies commonly go from $10,000 to $100,000 monthly using these exact principles. Here's the thing that separates 10x growth from 2x growth. 2x growth is about working harder. more hours, more effort, more stress. 10x growth is about working smarter, better systems, more automation, more leverage. Most people focus on incremental improvements. 10x thinkers focus on breakthrough strategies. But here's where most people fail. They try to do everything at once. They scale too fast without proper systems. 80% of businesses fail because of this. They ignore profit margins while chasing revenue. They lose focus by trying too many things. They hire quantity over quality. Don't make these mistakes. Start small. Measure results. Scale what works. Here's your action plan. First, calculate your current numbers. What's your customer acquisition cost? What's your customer lifetime value? What are your profit margins? Second, pick one growth accelerator and focus on it. Don't try to do all three at once. Third, set up basic tracking systems. You can't improve what you don't measure. Fourth, automate one process this month. Start small, but start somewhere. Fifth, review your pricing. Most people are charging too little. The AI revolution is happening whether you like it or not. 91% of decision makers are asking for more automation. 77% of marketers are using AI for content. The AI market will hit $107 billion by 2028. The marketing automation market will be $15.62 billion by 2030. 75% of high-growth companies will adopt revenue operations by 2025. There are 400 million small and medium businesses operating globally right now. This is your moment. While everyone else is trying to figure this out, you have the roadmap. You have the framework. You have the timeline. The question isn't whether this works. The data proves it works. The question is whether you'll actually do it. Most people won't. They'll watch this video, nod their head, and go back to doing the same things that got them stuck at $10,000 in the first place. But you're different. You're here because you want to grow. You want to build something that lasts. You want to join that 25% of companies that actually scale sustainably. Here's what I want you to do right now. Pick one thing from this video, just one, and implement it this week. Don't overthink it. Don't plan for months. Just start. Because the difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't talent. It isn't luck. It's execution. The framework is simple. Revenue model foundation. 3 growth accelerators. Revenue operations. Technology and automation. Profit margin optimization. The timeline is clear. 3 months for foundation. 5 months for growth engine. 4 months for optimization. The numbers don't lie. Companies using this framework grow 10 times faster. They increase revenue by 15.8% and productivity by 40%. They save $7,500 per year minimum, often $20,000 or more. But none of that matters if you don't take action. So here's my challenge for you. In the next 7 days, I want you to calculate your 3 core numbers: customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, and profit margins. Then I want you to pick one automation to implement. Something small, something you can finish in a week. Then come back and tell me what happened. Because when you start seeing results, that's when everything changes. The path from $10,000 to $100,000 isn't complicated, but it's not easy either. It requires discipline. It requires focus. It requires doing things differently than everyone else. But if you follow this framework, if you implement these systems, if you stay consistent for 12 months, you'll look back on this video as the moment everything changed. The choice is yours. Stay where you are or scale to where you want to be. I know what I'd choose. Look, maybe you're thinking this makes sense, but where do I start? I get it. Having the framework is one thing. Actually doing it is another. If you're serious about scaling from $10,000 to $100,000 and want someone to walk through your specific situation, I'm offering free discovery calls. No pitch, no pressure. Just me looking at your business and giving you the exact next step. We'll figure out which pillar to focus on first and create a 90-day action plan for your business. If you want help, go to AI7.solutions and book a call. But only if you're serious. Only if you're ready to do the work. The framework works. The question is whether you'll work the framework. Go to AI7.solutions and let's get started.